Table at Live.
That's what I'm saying.
Definitely a lot of.
All right, everybody, thanks for your patience. Thanks for joining us, coming out tonight. I know Michael gave the old-fashioned kind of yelling hello, but we have WBC lightweight champion Caroline Dubois, who won tonight, unanimous decision, and the undisputed bantamweight champion, the first undisputed champion from the great country of Australia, Sugar Neeks Johnson. So let's open up. Oh, I'm sorry. One bit of housekeeping, just for MVP announcement. This is officially the highest grossing boxing event in the history of Kaseya Center.
We'll open up to questions.
Raise your hand if you have a question.
Hello, this is Elias Blanco with the Split Decision Boxing. My first question is for Caroline Dubois. Caroline, 99-90 on all three cards. Talk to me about this performance.
First of all, I want to say thank you to Miami, thank you to MVP, thank you to Jake Paul and Nikisa for getting me on the card on such short notice. We signed for the fight 2 weeks ago, and it was just an option of like, are you going to take it, yes or no? We said yes. So I'm very happy to be given the opportunity. One thing I know about Camilla, I sparred her before, she's very tough, and I knew she was going to be tough, and it would take a lot to get her out of there. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to find that today, but we came close, so I'm very happy.
2 wins in 2025, signing with MVP, ending the year at the Kaseya Center on Netflix. When you reflect on this year, what do you think about it?
I think this year has been really good. I think that I've made really good moves with my career, really good moves in terms of what's next. I think it's big fights from here on out, being it a unification against Terry Harper, unification against Elif Tohan, or a massive fight against Alicia Baumgartner. Like you guys know, the sky's the limit, and no better place to do on than MVP.
And last question is for Chinika Johnson. Chinika, 4-fight winning streak, first defense of all the belts. What do you made of this most recent stretch of your career?
Sorry, just once again, I just wanted to make a shout out to MVP to providing this platform for us and to be able to showcase our skills. So it's been incredible to be on another amazing show. For my first defense of my belts and to be a part of this incredible show here in Miami is just another opportunity to showcase my skills and to be able to level up once again.
Caroline, I'm Travis weighing in with Travis Hartman. I'm a former fighter myself, and coming here and watching the fights here at the Kaseya Center, what type of an atmosphere was that like for you to have your first fight with MVP, to fight here in America in an auditorium like this? Because it was pretty happening.
Yeah, it was really coming out. I think every kid's dream growing up is to fight in America. Oh, wow.
It was going great until that.
I was able to achieve that today, and it was really surreal this week, really surreal. But I was happy to get it out of the way, and even coming on early as I did, I just so happy to get it out of the way. And I know that the next fight is going to be a big one, and if it's in America, if it's in the UK, I've done it, I've been there, I've done it, there's no pressure now.
Just curious if you managed to catch the main event and what you thought of Jake's performance, being able to survive that long with Anthony and vice versa, Anthony's knockout win.
Yeah, I think he surprised a lot of people tonight. He was being awkward for sure, but when you've got 100+ kilo, dangerous puncher like AJ coming down from you, I'm not surprised that he had the tactics that he did. I think a lot of people were surprised that he lasted as long as he did, and at the end of the day, he's going to be able to retire, pack it in one day, when he's finally 67, he'll be sitting down saying, I went, 6 rounds with AJ. That's something that he will never, no one can take that away from him. So, yeah.
And that question was for you as well, if you saw the main event.
Yeah, I agree. I think, the fans won tonight, and Jake is he's somewhat crazy for wanting to jump in the ring with AJ. If anything, he won with just going the distance and putting on performance. He did good.
Congratulations on all your success. Question for you. So when you won an Olympic youth gold medal, did you ever imagine just watching Netflix, watching Stranger Things, saying, hey, I'm going to be on that one day?
Never in my wildest dreams I would have ever imagined it. But that's the whole point of boxing. Boxing is an insane, crazy sport. And I think we see that with these shows. I mean, if you'd asked Jake, you know, do you ever imagine fighting AJ 5-6 years ago? I'm sure he would have just laughed you out the room. But here we are today. So boxing is the sport that makes things happen. And I'm blessed to be involved in something like this and making things happen every single day. You know, there's big fights ahead for me. And if we can do it on the platform of Netflix, why not?
And question for both of you ladies. You guys are the leaders of this momentum that women's boxing has.
Yeah.
How do you feel, or what is going to be the next steps of progressing women's boxing further, of headlining? Because you guys are stealing shows left and right. What's the next step in progressing women's boxing further?
Super fights between the best fighting the best. Build-ups, we need to have build-ups. We need to have competition. We need to have, you know, that friction, that you know, controversy in terms of like somewhat A side thinks they're going to win and B side thinks they're going to win. And when you have that against two elite fighters where no one can decide and it's 50-50, that's big fights. That's big money.
You too?
I think MVP are on the right path with already providing that platform for women. You know, they've got a big stable and they're able to make those fights happen with all the women that they have at the moment. So, yeah, I think there's going to be some great fights to happen within the division and within the stable of MVP fighters.
Thank you.
Andreas Haley, ESPN. Shanika, a question for you. Do you have to bleed in every fight? Do you have to be cut in every fight? I know these are wars that you go into, but for once, you think about it and go, dang, do I have to cut myself open every fight?
You know what, it would be really nice to come out of a fight without a cut or without being bleeding, but I think it's all a part of it, you know. We're warriors, we're fighters, and you go in there and you want to get the job done, and it's just a part of the game. If you get cut, I've got a great cut team around me, and they do really well at handling the situation in there.
Carolyn, a question for you. I mean, this is you fighting in the United States. This was a big card for you. I'm sure you've been asked about your performance, but just kind of talk about the overall experience and if you're ready to come back to the States and make a name for yourself again.
Oh, I'd love to come back to the States. I think branching out and connecting to the American fans is awesome. And I think, you know, you guys have just such a large population. I feel like if I can connect with that on some level, I think it's great for my profile, great for my brand, and great for boxing as well, because I get to fight in front of you guys, and I honestly would love that.
Michelle Joy Phelps with Fox Nation. I just want to ask you ladies, who is on your hit list for 2026? Any names you want to drop?
Who?
Both of you.
I think it's pretty obvious for me. You know, you've got Terry Harper, you've got Alicia Baumgardner, you've got Alif Turhan, you've got the winner of Stephanie Hahn and Holly Holm. You've got massive fights for me, super fights, and I want to just be involved in them.
I feel like I'm on the list for a lot of people, so there's plenty of fights to be made, but I just want the big fights, and I want to keep defending these belts.
All right, thank you, everyone.
Let's give it up for both champions.
One phone call, we're good.
Same.
AC from my phone. Hot.
Teal was here, you saw that?
Yeah. Teal was here. He was down there in the suite getting some popcorn. Who's up next? Alicia. Baumgartner. Derek James. No, you almost knocked me down. Ask Johnny if he heard the new Zero album.
Thank you, everybody, for being here. This has been an unbelievable 4-week period from the moment that this fight was made and Jake transitioned from preparing for a 135-pound opponent to a giant of a man in Anthony Joshua. I could not be happier with the fact that Jake is safe, and more so that he showed his heart. I don't know if you guys were looking on Twitter, but until about 20 minutes ago, the #1 trending thing on Twitter wasn't Jake Paul getting knocked out, wasn't Jake Paul, wasn't Anthony Joshua. It literally was the phrase, respect for Jake Paul. And I can tell you guys, I have so much respect for that young man. Alicia Baumgartner, 12 threes. The knockdown, that was almost a knockout, came near the end of the 3rd minute. And that speaks to our focus of allowing these athletes to have the opportunity to choose to compete on the same playing field as the men. Alicia, do you want to say a few words before we open it up?
Yes, first off, thank you everybody just for tuning in. This has been an amazing moment just to be a part of. MVP has done an amazing job with us women, with the team as a unit. And I think it's so important to keep highlighting the things that they are doing and having game changers like myself be on the front of everything just to showcase what women have already known to do. And that's to be a winner, that's to be a warrior, that's to stand tall, and that's to stand on business and to say, hey, we can do 12 rounds, 3 minutes.
Questions?
Yep. Want to open it up?
Andreas Hale, ESPN. Alicia, congratulations. When we talked earlier this week, you said you've been searching for that knockout, and I know you wanted it, but you showed some new wrinkles in the game. You worked to the body well, the footwork has improved. Talk about what you've gotten under Derek James and how much you've been able to showcase that tonight.
Yes, as mentioned before, I was able to spend more time with Derek. We were able to work on a lot of things. You know, when it comes to doing 3 minutes, it's strategic. You have to set things up. It's not a 2-minute just fight. You know, I wanted to showcase the skills that I have, and you saw that with the jab. You saw that me going to the body, you know, feints, you know, using the ring, utilizing the ring. And I'm so proud of myself because I was able to be in there and do what I love to do, and that's the fight, that's the box, that's the punch, that's the move. And Derek and I are continuing to work on this dynamic to really showcase what more there is.
Now, we all know about the right hand, and all of your opponents, they scout that right hand very well, but it finally broke through. How bad did you think you had her hurt? Did you think you were close to a finish?
Yeah, no, Layla was hurt pretty bad. You know, I could tell I was reading her energy throughout those rounds. And again, my corner was just saying, be patient. You know, that 2-minute mentality was kicking in. I'm like, no, chill out. You know, you still got another minute. But I knew she was hurt. And again, I was taking my time and making it look good.
Hello, this is Elias Blanco with Split Decision Boxing. Alicia, you know, first 12 threes, and you know, in this fight, it looked like you were implementing Derek James's game plan to a T. You know, you were jabbing a lot, you were landing a lot around her guard. You know, was that something you were focusing on going into the fight?
Yeah, absolutely. It was important that when we stepped up to this challenge to do 3 minutes, that the world was going to see a dynamic fighter, a complete fighter. I think it's important that people know that women like myself can fight, can box, can actually utilize the ring. When we think about boxing, we think about the sweet science and having it look good and setting up punches up and, you know, setting up that knockout. So yeah, I listened to my corner and we looked dominant in there for sure.
Absolutely. And you know, this fight you dedicated to your father, and you said you were going to tear up, you know, after the fight. Did you get that, you know, chance to let the emotions out and, you know, feel everything?
Man, they're still bottled up, and I'm still like releasing them little by little. But you know, just to make it through, you know, the transition and to make it for another month in camp and to be in this moment, I'm just happy to be here. And sometimes you just have to continue to see it through. And I know my dad is very proud of me, and we have a lot to celebrate.
And my last question is for Nikisa. Nikisa, you know, 2025 was a big year for Most Valuable Promotions. You know, you signed a lot of major world-class talent. You know, you had monthly events, 2 Netflix cards, you know, the first ever fight night back in August. When you think about the growth of the promotion this year, what do you reflect on that?
I think it just speaks to the ability to disrupt the sport, led by Jake Paul at the forefront, for a company that started in August of 2021, so a little bit less than 4 years ago. And I'm excited about what our prospects are going into 2026 in terms of boxing, in terms of women's boxing, in terms of going international, and in terms of getting into different business lines as well. We've shown we can put on the biggest events in the world with the biggest distributor in the world. And having their support and their confidence and their belief in what Jake and I do and the rest of the team is invaluable.
Thanks, you're up for MMA Junkie. For Nikisa, we talked fight and you mentioned how initially you were a big concern for Jake and those concerns kind of went away over time, but can you, now that the fight's over, how concerned were you when Jake stepped in the ring with AJ, and is there a sense of relief now that in the grand scheme of things, obviously he's a bit injured, but all in all he's all right?
Yeah, you know, it's interesting. Every time I spoke about this is a dangerous fight or put out a tweet that says no matter what happens, he's already won, it turned into you don't even believe in your man. But at the flip side was the event is rigged, Jake's gonna win or he's not gonna knock him out. Maybe the powers that be in boxing paid Jake Paul to lose tonight. Maybe that's what happened. Maybe it was a flip rigged, right? Jake was gonna kick AJ's ass. But the reality is, my hope was that nobody would get hurt from the first fight of the night to the last fight of the night. And ultimately that's what happened. And ultimately Jake Paul lasted a lot longer than anyone said he was going to. And I haven't seen the official scorecards. I don't know if anyone else has, but I think he might have won a round or 2 or even 3. He was doing tremendously well in there against a person who is vastly more skilled, vastly larger, vastly more powerful. And he did it on 4 weeks preparation.
What would you like to see next for Jake?
I'd like him to take a beat, relax, and then think about when he's gonna fight next. You know, we talked about June, July timeframe. He loves the sport. He loves MVP. He loves the athletes. He loves giving them platform and push. This young lady right here, the whole time when I was talking to her, I said, what do you think? She goes, Jake's gonna win. I believe in him. He can do whatever he wants to do. That's the kind of family that we're building at MVP. It's a fighter-first organization. You guys saw our weigh-in yesterday. That stuff costs a lot of money. But we want to put on the best brand for these fighters to show the world what boxing is about.
Just one last question. Alicia, you made history, three minute round. Have you thought about that just for a second? Obviously, the win is great and all that, but have you thought about the history that you made for women's boxing?
You know, I'm still soaking in this win, and like I said, when Nakisa mentioned, hey, 3 minutes, 12 rounds, what do you think? I said, let's do it. And to be able to say that I did it, I made history. I'm the best woman fighter there is in the game right now. My skills are a 10 out of 10, and I'm only getting better, and that's the thing. You guys see just glimpses of who Alicia Baumgardner is, and this was just one of those moments where you saw just a little bit. So I'm looking forward to what the future looks like, and you know, still continuing to fight these 12 3-minute rounds.
And again, the knockdown came in the 3rd minute, right?
That's right.
That's the critical component of that analysis.
Nakisa, just down here, Jeffrey from The Sun. Just to follow up on Jake, he said he broke his jaw in the aftermath. Has he gone to hospital? What's the health update on Jake?
Yeah, we think he broke his jaw. He's fine. We met with Netflix afterwards. He took a shower. He drove himself to the hospital. A broken jaw is very common in sports, particularly in boxing or MMA. And I think the recovery time from the doctors and surgeons we've already
Ngannou was able to accomplish, or how long he was able to last against Anthony Joshua. What does it say about Jake Paul?
I think a great game plan and preparation, unbelievable heart. And the reality is, Jake lost because of the size difference, not because of the skill difference. AJ was hanging on that neck, pushing him down. And when you have someone that heavy constantly doing that, it does suck the energy out of you. AJ talked about sucking out or taking out the man's soul. He didn't take out his soul. He did take out his energy, and that's when he was able to get the finish.
And just a quick follow-up. Obviously, we don't want to look too far into the future. I know you said Jake wants a break. He's going through some, he's coming off a tough fight. But I mean, like it seems written on the wall that would be an obvious fight to, look forward to in the future. Could you see Jake versus Francis Ngannou?
The whole situation with Francis was very confusing to me. And he's done a couple of interviews who I know who he is as a human being.
Thank you. If you want to fight me, it's 12 3-minute rounds, or are you willing to go back to 2-minute rounds?
For one, I feel amazing after that performance. And yes, there is a standard, and there's high expectations that I have for myself, the expectations that MVP has for me. When you think of an athlete, when you think of someone who is a competitor, you think of Alicia Baumgardner, you think about Alicia stepping up to the plate and showcasing what she always talks about and backing it up. And so yes, it is a standard, and I think it only gets better. Like he said, the knockout came that last minute, so I know exactly what that feeling is, and I know exactly how I want to do things moving forward.
Nakisa, one question for you. You have such a brilliant UK stable, now adding Caroline Dubois. Are you looking to expand more into the UK market, potentially TV deals, selling out stadiums, with maybe even Jake headlining?
Yeah, look, baby steps in terms of the company in some ways, big steps in others, right? We've done the biggest events in the world with Netflix over the past 12 months. This is our 3rd event with them. Our goal is to come to the UK sometime in Q1. We're actively working on that analysis. Bryce Holden, our CEO, is leading that charge. We have an unbelievable roster of amazing fighters in the UK already. One of them has been going back and forth with Alicia, and I think to Alicia's credit, she did say it should be 3-minute rounds. If and when they both want to do it, they both have to want to do it, right? We can't force that, but the UK is pound for pound the most important boxing market in the world. The US is the most lucrative market in the world, so we want to be relevant in both.
Hey Alicia, Los with Fight Hype. First off, congratulations on your win. Dubois, on her post-fight, she said that the next biggest fight in women's boxing is herself and you. What are your thoughts on that?
Listen, like I said before, she's a puppy, right? And with puppies, they need some potty training, and that's what she needs. She needs some potty training before she steps up to a big dog like myself. And like I said, the standard that I'm setting for myself is 12 rounds, 3 minutes. And I saw her performance. She looked like she got tired, and she didn't look like what she talks about. So she knows exactly what she has to do, and I know what I'm doing. So there's a difference.
Absolutely.
They did both get knockdowns, though. I will highlight that point there.
Absolutely.
That's
and
cool.
Nakisa, question for you. In your mind, what is next for Alicia?
For what?
I said, in your mindset, what is next for Alicia?
Headline event when she's ready. That's what's next for the bomb.
The bomb, baby.
Sure, Alicia. Just a little bit of a lighter-hearted one.
What do you think the dollar value was of the ice in the ring tonight between you and Johnny Bang, and how did that collaboration come about?
Hi, baby. Probably like $5 million. No, but for real, it was, you know, when we think about performance and we thinking about a brand, you know, I'm so happy the way you want to. And that's why I love MVP.
Boxing, building women's combat boxing and the entire division, bringing boxing to Netflix, you know, fixing boxing and course correcting boxing. Do you feel the tide starting to turn? And by the way, Jake, his name anchoring has essentially introduced a new audience to great talent like the woman next to you. So do you see the tide finally turning with the casual viewer, that folks are finally getting on board of what you guys are accomplishing for boxing?
You know, I hope so. I think Jake said it best at the press conference. Like, boxing should want Jake to win because he's using his platform, his money, his time to try to build it for the better. And when you look at everything that we've accomplished, none of it happens without Jake. He is the tip of the spear, and he enabled us to go out and partner with Netflix and then create an all-women's card on Netflix. And then push Netflix to say, we want to make sure Alicia Baumgartner is the co-main here to get those eyeballs. Oh, and by the way, we want to add 3 more other championship level women's bouts on the card. So, is the tide turning? I hope so. Do I care? No, because the results speak for themselves. And as I said, the number one trending thing on Twitter was respect to Jake Paul, and that means a lot to me.
And one more question for the champ. When it comes to performances and your sparkling resume, this fight was Michael Jackson Thriller. This was incredible. Do you feel the pressure now every single fight? Like, man, everyone's going to expect a barn burner. Everyone's going to expect a tremendous performance. Like, how do you deal with that type of pressure now that you have so many more eyeballs on you?
Yeah, no pressure at all. You know, I'm thankful for the team that I've been building for years now. And as a professional, I understand that there's ways of doing things, and I like to do them at the highest level. And, you know, you can't go any lower than the bar that I've set for myself. So I know moving forward, the bar just keeps getting higher. There's no glass ceiling. You can't put me in a box. And there's a time to be had, and we're gonna have that time.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
I'm going to leave you guys with this. I saw a lot of comments, particularly from the UK, about Jake Paul as a novice boxer and shouldn't be in the ring with Anthony Joshua. He took some rounds from Anthony Joshua. It took Anthony Joshua 6 rounds to put out a man who's been in the sport for 6 years and took on the challenge in 4 weeks. So put some respect on Jake Paul's name in the UK. Thank you.
The face and the face.
Where's Joshua come? Is it a wrap? Let's get out of here. Going back in the room.
That's a great question. Hang tight. I don't know.
Go Anderson Silva?
I thought Anderson sometime. I don't know what he's up to. But where's Michael? Yeah, we think he Liz.
Sorry, guys, one more thing. The performance of the night, which is $100,000, goes to Sugar Neeks and Amanda Galley on their fight. Thank you.
Jake with the broken jaw definitely ain't coming. See if Joshua comes.
The guy told Dan, we'll have to wait.
MVP employee says Joshua will likely not come, but we'll see.
Yeah. You got Anderson and AJ coming.
Anderson and AJ Cummins.
AJ's coming too. Don't hold me to it. That's what I'm hearing.
What's in between you guys? No, you're fine.
I'll get some good content. Thank you.
Here comes Silva.
All right, everyone, we got Anderson Silva.
Waiting for Mark? Just me? Okay. All right.
Max Colangelo, VS News. Congratulations, champ, on a tremendous victory. You looked absolutely sensational. I want to ask you, how are you able to do this at your age? You're 50 years old and you're beating world-level fighters. How do you do it?
Well, I don't think about my age. You know, I train with the young guys every day. You know, and I keep doing a lot of different trainings, and I think the age is only the number.
Mental. And can you tell us as well, once you dropped Woodley and he got up, you guys actually touched his glove. Can you explain what exactly happened in that one moment?
What did you say?
After you dropped Woodley, you guys briefly touched gloves right before the ref jumped in and stopped the fight. Can you just explain what happened in that brief moment?
Well, I'm happy, you know, because when you're there, you see your opponent going down and the judge coming in the front. You're happy, you know, because your job work, you know. And I think this is very interesting sport because in MMA you can hold your opponent, you can put it on the ground. In boxing, you can't do that, you know. And for me, boxing is very hard sport to learn, especially because I train with young kids. Ebert is an Olympic guy and a gold medal, you know. Junior is an amazing boxer, my sons. And it's very difficult for me to try to follow the same technique the kids has, you know, the footwork and everything. But I'm a little crazy. I just try to do my best every day, you know. Everything in my life, I try to do my best. I try to prove for myself I can do everything.
Love to hear that. And last question right before I wrap up. You know, you had an impressive victory today to close out the year. You called out Chris Weidman. What can we expect for you for a big 2026?
Well, first of all, I need to get back to work because my team just called me in the entire camp training and pushed me hard, say, boss, you need to back to work. You say, okay, but give me the little space for continue my training. And I back to work, I back to finish my paperwork to go to the police academy too. And we'll see. Maybe I fight in the next event, we'll see.
Mr. Silva, over here. Absolute honor to be talking to you, and congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
So for your longevity, and especially from an old man from me, like any advice you would give and tips of how you have stayed so healthy, you look still so great even at 50 years old?
Man, the secret is passion and love. Everything you do in your life, professional, doesn't matter if it's fight or not, you don't love, you don't go make successful. You don't come happy. And everything I do in my life, I do it because I have a passion to do. And the combat sport in my life is very special, you know, and it's something I pray every day because God give me that opportunity, you know, to keep doing something so amazing, you know, and prove for the new generation everybody can do everything, but you need to question yourself every time when you go to the bed at night. Is your love, is your passion, is something you love to do it because you make successful.
And one last question from me. So you have inspired generations after generations, including me, and since your days fighting in Pride. For the next generation that is coming up and watching Jake Paul and watching these fight cards and everything, what piece of advice would you give them, and how would you inspire them to pursue their passions and pursue and follow in your footsteps?
Well, I think the new generation need to understand the more important, respect the legends, you know, respect the legends, and respect the word, you know. I think the world needs more passion and respect for the human beings, respect, you know. A lot of bad things happen, and I don't know, I try to pass my bad things for everybody, you know, every day, and that's my work, that's my mission in here in this world.
Thank you.
Anderson over here. Rafael Prado with FightNews.com. I just have a question regarding this fight particularly. What was your first round like? Were you just analyzing him and just timing that uppercut to take a shot in the second round?
Yeah, I just doing the strategy. I train with my team, just move and take my perfect time to doing my best shot in the fight, you know. And everything's worked. I'm so happy because everything I learned in my camp training work in the fight.
Yeah, and I just wanted to add, I thought that for your age, you're still very mentally sharp in there as well, because it did seem to me like...
I'm Spider-Man, bro.
Yeah, there you ageless.
Oh, I'm sorry, I told my secrets. Oh my God.
Thank you.
Michelle Joy Phelps with Box Nation. I would like to ask your opinion on this because it's like a really big debate. Is which would you say is the hardest to do, MMA or boxing?
Well, it's two different sports, you know, and I think boxing for me is hard because the footwork, hands up whole time, you know, is very hard for me. And I watching the video and with my fight this night, and I saw my hands little down, and I talked to my coach. So, I need to back and train this, you know, because I put my hands down, and that's not good. But it's a two different sports. I think the MMA is you have different disciplines to learn. In boxing, you have to work in the footwork, your hands up, and a lot of different techniques. But for me, boxing is hard. It's very hard to learn.
And a follow-up to that is, then who would win in a bar fight, MMA fighter or a boxer?
Well,
because my family has a major debate over this, and I just have to hear it from you.
Depending the rules, you know, and the rules is in the MMA guy have more chance to win, and only boxing, for sure the boxing guy go win. That for sure.
Here, Anderson, Danny Segura with MMA Junkie. Anderson, how many more fights do you want to do? You look great, but is there a set number that you want to do?
I don't have a number, you know. I just wake up every day in the morning and say, God, thank you so much. I'm here again. And when I have a chance to put everything together, you know, between my work, my company, and my training, I just say, oh my God, I can't do this again. Wow, I'm so lucky. You know, it's not very good to when I pass the news for my family. You know, when I go fight again. Everybody, no way, Dad, you crazy? And yeah, I'm a little crazy. And yeah, it's a passion, brother. It's a passion. It's something I'm lucky because I don't see nobody in my age, in my generation, doing the same, you know. And that's I pray every day and say, God, thank you for everything you do in my life.
Are you surprised you're still fighting?
No, I'm not surprised. I just keep working every day, you know, because that's I say the age in my mind is a number. For me, I don't think about my age, you know. I don't have bad discipline, you know. I'm very hard and my food and everything I do in my life to make my life better, you know, because I like to see my grandson grow up and train with me too.
Lastly, did you watch Jake's fight against Anthony, and what you think about?
Well, I think Jake improved a lot in doing a good job.
Anderson, I just want to follow up on that. You know, any message for Jake, especially considering that not only are you a former opponent of his, but you work with his company, you see how far he's come. What did you think about his performance?
Wow, I think that Jake doing an amazing job, you know, and the big responsibility is for Joshua, not for Jake, you know. But the people need to respect Jake, you know, and imagine Jake little big and having more time to training for this fight. You know, I think Jake improved a lot. The people need to respect him. I don't say that only because I'm fighting here in a company, but it's because Jake, the people need to respect Jake, you know. I mean, every single fight go inside the ring, everybody need respect.
Thank you.
One more over here.
Congratulations on a spectacular knockout tonight.
I can miss you, buddy. I'm sorry.
I said congratulations on your spectacular knockout tonight.
Thank you.
I know you and Woodley go back to the UFC days, and I was wondering if you got a chance to speak to him after the fight. And if not, did you have any words for him?
Wow. I don't. You can't give back the question because I can't listen correctly. I'm sorry.
He asked if you spoke to Tyron Woodley after the fight.
Oh, about Tyron? I think Tyron don't have a long time to come for this fight. And he's a great fighter. You know, a lot of people don't give the credit to him because I think the people don't see how much us work in this sport. You know, the combat sport is very brutal, and Tyron is an amazing fighter. He's a legend, and people need to respect him.
Were you able to speak to him after the fight?
Yeah, I just say thank you, man. Thank you for accept the fight, and that's it. You know, because when you go inside the ring, you go to win. You know, but I have a family. Tyron have a family, and I think, of course, I'm happy. But and the other thing, I'm a human being, and I feel a little sad because, you know, what is it? It is. It's a fight, but it's very tough. You know.
Thank you, champ.
You're welcome.
Such a humble guy, man.
Thank you, Anderson.
You're welcome, guys. Thank you so much. Have a good night. Thank you.
Spoke to Anderson, a good guy had.
Man, somebody had posted a screenshot of Jake's jaw. It looked pretty bad.
Yeah.
They blurred it out.
Jesus Christ. That's what happens when the lash lands flush on the jaw.
That's like the
right in the fucking button.
I feel like that was like the only one that landed on the button.
Jesus Christ.
That's crazy. Big shot from the big guy.
And I lost the bull wires. It took me 11 years to recover. You know what I'm saying? I understand.
Such a humble guy, man.
Cool Bobo. Fuck that guy. Oh, yeah. Anderson Silva is the fucking man. I remember tape trading and seeing his fights on Shootout. Jesus Christ. That guy's a fucking legend. I never thought I would talk to him in my lifetime. I want to party with you. I was about to win. Cool.
Shut up.
And you can sit down.
I'll be kicked out so fast. What are you doing in here?
I was gonna flat out ask Anderson, how does it feel to be God? I mean, is there a lot of pressure?
Police academy or boxing.
I got gas for
It's crazy options.
Yeah.
No, you found
I used to tape trade, which is what the kids did before YouTube, and just had all of his fucking fights on Shudo and shit like that. Like, he's been fighting wars since the fucking mid-late 90s when he was training with Shudo Box. And for
That's
the guy
so
to have
crazy.
longevity after fighting fucking killers and murders row his entire career, and especially training with Shudo Box, they used to fucking murder each other. Training, I think even hugging each other required fucking fist fighting, you know? Like,
It's good, man. He's a legend.
hell yeah.
Buddy said. Oh, buddy said Tootsie's drinks on him.
Oh, I just want to shut it off.
Well, because he
It's like a little tip, right? You get like dumbass.
Is there any more people coming?
I think AJ's coming.
You knocked him out, you did what you're supposed to do. Let's go the fuck home.
I want to ask him 20 million times how he feels.
Oh, God, bro.
We're gonna turn that light up on you, Kevin.
Make this question good, all right? What is it?
On the press conference, I was there, and someone asked how they felt at least 30 times. I was counting.
Oh, yeah, know how he felt.
I walked right out of that fucking UFC. Right after that fucking press conference. I was like,
You can ask how did Jake Paul's jaw feel when you broke it?
Make it good. That's a great one. I would ask you how you feel. How do you feel?
how will you get his jaw on the plane through customs?
Yeah, it looks like Eddie Hearn.
Yeah.
Eddie Hearn in all white, the beach gear. And yep, AJ.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for the wait. Great night. Thanks to everybody. Thanks to MVP, Netflix, DAZN. Respect to Jake Paul as well. And questions available to Anthony Joshua for you guys.
AJ, right here. Andreas Hale, ESPN, to your left.
Yes.
What's up, man?
Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Back in the U.S., you got the fitness that you desired, but can you kind of talk about the frustration in dealing with Jake's movement? Is that what you expected out of him in this fight? And were the things that you think about that was like, I could have done something a little bit better to end this night early?
So there was two things that could have happened in the fight.
Jake would have either come full steam ahead 100 miles an hour, or Jake would have moved around the ring at 100 miles an hour. There's two things I would have done. Tried to shut Jake down at 100 miles an hour, or I would have gone on the back foot. So Jake decided to move around the ring, and I decided to put the pressure on. What I could have done better is a lot of things. 100%. In the fight game, you've seen the amazing fighters that have graced us over the last 100 years, and the expectations that we put on ourselves are immense, but I tried my best. Jake done well while it lasted, but if you remember what I said in the interview with Cameron is, fighting's not just physical, it's psychological. And when you understand the psychological warfare, I did say to you that, Jake, what's gonna happen? I'm gonna see a time when I'm gonna take your soul, and you're either gonna give up or you're gonna get knocked out. And unless you have that instinct, you just will never be a good fighter. So I wish that I could have knocked him out at the start. But as we saw tonight, Jake has spirit. He has some heart. He tried his best, and I take my hat off to him because, number one, a lot of fighters haven't got in the ring with me, and Jake did. You know, dust the dirt off his shoulder and come again and maybe sell out this center sometime in 2026. Maybe against a Gervonta Davis, a Ryan Garcia, who knows?
Eddie, I want to follow with you because when this fight was first announced, you had said something to the effect of this would end Jake Paul's career. After what you saw tonight, do you think that Jake should continue to box, or what do you think the future holds for him?
Yeah, no, I really take my hat off. I mean, we have to see if it is a broken jaw. Those injuries are very difficult to come back from. But as AJ said, like that last shot would have knocked out a lot of heavyweights. And I know he went down heavy, but you know, he was conscious on the floor. And I thought his game plan, although obviously very negative early on, which it had to be, was, you know, was smart at times. And there were times where he held his feet and let his hands go. You know, it was a very one-sided fight. It was always going to be a one-sided fight. But you can't give him anything but credit and respect. There's a lot of negative people out there. There's a lot of people who want to criticise people. They're not doing what Jake Paul's done. He just went in with Anthony Joshua and gave it his best shot. Took a lot of punishment and ended the fight eventually on his feet after the stoppage. So, you know, I think he'll have to see physically how that jaw, I don't know the severity of it. It's a very difficult injury to come back from, but he showed he's got ability, and that's what we said. You know, he's dedicated to the game.
He has got ability. He's done well.
Last one, AJ. Before this fight, we talked, and you said, I'm not thinking about 2026 until after this fight. Now, what is the plan? Because there was talk about Turki Al-Sheikh saying that you would take an interim fight before you would fight Tyson Fury. Can you guys kind of illuminate what the plan is entering next year?
So, the best promoter in the world has been speaking with Turkey, His Excellency, Riyadh Season, and now he's going to relay those messages and speak to my training team, the Right to Fight team. They're going to have conversations, they're going to speak to my manager, and everyone's going to kind of see where I'm at. My training team know my body really well. They know what I've been through over the X amount of weeks I've been with them. So it's up to them to make a decision. They're gonna speak with Eddie, and then hopefully in a week or so, I'll have some news. I'm a strong guy. I want to push on, but the coaches, it's really up to them. They're the ones that guide me. Fighters will always fight. Coaches are there to guide us.
Over here.
AJ's Kevin Garcia, aka the Puerto Rican Kid KG, and I just wanted to get your assessment. You know, you've now been in the ring with Jake Paul and Francis Ngannou. What do you think about them comparatively when you assess what they were like up against you?
Both good, both have heart. It takes a lot. That ring walk, obviously 1,000 fighters have done it before me, but imagine sleeping the night before a big fight, and then you wake up in the morning and you're waiting for that moment when it's time to leave. You get to the change room, you make that walk. I take my hat off to Francis Ngannou because he's ultimately an MMA fighter, and he crossed over into boxing twice. He beat up Tyson Fury and then had a short fight with me, but he walked in that ring twice, credit to him. Then Jake Paul, who has been boxing now for 5 or so years at an elite level, the amount of pressure that's been put on his shoulders, and he's lived up to that pressure. I'm not going to say that they're world class, because in our modern day era, there's maybe 4, 5, 6, 7 Anthony Joshuas that can punch, that can avoid punches, that know what they're doing in the ring. So Jake will struggle at top level, but he has a place in boxing if he wants to stay, in my opinion. So credit to him and his team for getting him this far.
Thank you. And just one other question for you, Anthony. Can you talk a little bit about, was it frustration or what was going through your mind when, some of the clinching was happening? You had hit him a few times you let him go a few times, but then there was a time on the break where you gave him a few good body shots. What was happening in the ring?
So 2 things were happening in my mind in the clinches. In the clinch, he done really well. When you're in survival mode, you will always find a way. So I was trying to look for certain shots. I actually wanted to let my hands go in the clinch, but he done well to tie my hands up. And as you can see, when they were free, I tried to land a few body shots. And I tried when I could. It was a bit messy, but from a systematical breakdown, the right hand landed, it found its home, and the referee waved it off after. Did he get counted out, or did the ref wave it off?
I believe he got counted out.
So the right hand found its home. I would have loved to have landed some more body shots, but it weren't for tonight, maybe in the future, but we got the job done in the end.
Congrats on the win. AJ.
Thank you, mate.
Jack from the Sun. A question for you, Eddie. There's actually been some rumours around the circuit this week that there's a fight for AJ in February next year against the kickboxing champion, Rico Van Hoven. Is there any legs to that?
No, we've been talking about a possible fight with Turk El Sheikh. A couple of opponents mentioned. That would be the time, but we're going to see when he's ready. Rico, whoever it is, we haven't finalised that yet, but the date really is what we're going to work on over the next 4, 5, 6 days, because we're not going to rush him back if he's not quite ready, but it won't be long. And the plan is to fight in the spring, and then obviously fight Tyson Fury.
AJ, if you had it your way, would you just go into fight Tyson next, or would you like one more?
Yeah, I would.
We can do that, by the way, straight away. No interim fights. If Tyson's ready and AJ's ready, we don't have to fight in February or March. I think he's saying he needs to fight.
Give the Dosser 8 weeks and 24 hours to sign a contract. Let's see if he's a man.
AJ, right here.
Greedy belly.
Right here, Rafael Prado with FightNews.com.
He's looking, saying, "Let me do the fucking. let me go. Go, wait. We have Tyson Fury's cousin here. Go on, let them hear your skills."
We'll do that. Tyson, what are you saying about maybe going straight into the fight with no warm-up?
Well, I'll tell you what, I'll do it right now, 100%. Back into that Casilla Centre, put that ring together, and put me in with him! 100%!
And what's John Fury saying? How's he feeling about the fight?
I tell you what! You know it! We all know it! Everyone here in America knows it! It's the biggest fight! Okay?
So, obviously, AJ is a fan of you, Mike Tyson. What do you think about the fight with him and Tyson Fury?
I'll tell you what, it's huge. There's something so big about it. And I think it's a big fight for British boxing, but not just that, it's a big fight globally. But we are in America, and I know Donald Trump wants to see it.
It would be great if we could have it in America. It's a big fight.
Yeah.
It's
And
a
what of
very
Trump?
big
How's
fight.
Trump? What do you think Trump would say about bringing that fight to the USA?
We could bring it to the USA. We've got the World Cup here. That's going to be so big. The biggest World Cup you've ever seen in your entire life. So let's have it here. We've got big stadiums.
And Mike, I saw earlier when you just spoke, you also turned into Robert De Niro halfway through.
I did. I enjoyed that.
I meant Al Pacino.
Oh, we're in Miami in Scarface. I gotta tell you, I mean, with Jake Paul, you said, say hello to my little friend. That's how you did it. It is Christmas season, by the way. Joe Pesci likes Home Alone.
I wanted to ask you as well, Eubank Senior, about what you thought, how I carried myself with the Warriors code.
Yes. I thought you carried yourself very well. I really did. I did. And it was amazing to see. But I believe your promoter does a far better Chris Eubank Senior. And he doesn't do it in the interviews with me, so I think he should do it right now. For me.
Anthony Joshua, how do you think you done tonight?
Listen, man, I'm working on you. I'm working on you. That's it. It's a work in progress. Thank you.
Rafael Prado with FightNews.com. AJ, I want to ask you mentioned the psychological aspect of the game. It seemed like all your answers, the look in your eyes, everything, you just seemed to be very in tune, very aligned during the lead up to this fight. Was that just your reassessment of the game from being off for that amount of time, or the new camp with Usyk and his team, or is it just that you're a veteran now and the way you approach the game is different?
Good question. New team. They're giving me like a spark, a love for the game. Again, I took a year out. I needed that. Sometimes things can be going 100 miles an hour. Just need to slow it down a bit and actually have a look at what's going on around me. And I think that's been important. And now I can just say, I'm just an athlete. That's what I want to be. I just want to be an athlete now. While I'm still competing and just give it 100%. I don't want to be anything else. I just want to be an athlete. I don't want to be distracted. I don't want to be a businessman. I just want to be an athlete, and I think that's my business. That's my business, and if I can focus on that, I think I can reign again. I've still got a lot of passion for the game, and that's what's happened over the last year. Focusing more, taking away a lot of distractions, and the team I'm with are pushing me, and I think, even though it's hard, I know that's what's needed. And I'm welcoming more. I'm welcoming more challenges in the gym. I say it now, but it's what I need if I'm going to be successful in boxing.
Well, you can see it shining through, and it showed leading up
Sorry?
to this fight. You can see it shining through, and it showed leading up to this fight.
You can see it?
Yeah, I
For real?
definitely felt that
Okay,
way.
that's positive then, and long may it continue.
AJ. Hi AJ.
Good to
Sarah
see you.
from The Athletic. Congrats on the win.
Thank you.
Obviously you said you had 15 months out, a time when I'm guessing you had lots of questions in your own mind. Did tonight answer any of those questions?
Well, I wanted to fight, so the question is, I was asking myself, do I actually want to fight? The only way I'm going to find out is if I get in the ring and have a feel for it. So getting in the ring today, I definitely want to fight, but I definitely want to get better as well. So I'm hungry for more. I'm hungry to get back on that gravy train and just continue everything that I kind of left behind in 2025. I had a tough defeat in my last fight, and I just want to, 2024, I had a tough defeat in 2024, and I just want to pick up and move forward again. So I'm glad that I got back in the ring and I figured out that this is where I want to be. It was a real test for me to figure out if I still want to continue or not, and this was a good eye-opener to say, this is where I want to be, I want to get back in the ring and go again. Thank you.
Anthony, I'm Travis with Weighing In with Travis Hartman. I don't know if you remember me, but at the very
You said
kickoff,
to Jake about his record, he fought better fighters than this person, and that, right?
Yep. He
Who were
fought
they?
you at his 14th. But do you remember what I asked you?
So you asked me, I can't remember.
So I fought Terrence Crawford in the pros and went the distance with Terrence Crawford.
You fought who?
Terrence Crawford in the pros.
Yeah.
I went the distance with him. Lost the decision on points. But I asked you if you went the distance with Jake Paul, would that be a loss?
Okay.
And you said yes, I had to knock him out.
Yeah.
So tonight, did it go how you thought it would go? And is it a success for you? I know you won. We all seen that, right? Is it a success for you tonight? And I have a follow-up.
No. I needed to do better. I needed to do better. Yeah. No, it's a win, but it's not a success. I think my coach expects more from me, and I expect more from myself. But what can we do? We can't reverse the clocks. I have to move forward. I have to put that in the past now. After today, you may see a bit of social media trying to lap up all of the algorithm attention. But for me, it's in the past. I can't live off of that win. I've got a lot of improvement I need to do. So yeah, I'm not happy.
So I saw you when you were walking out. I got to see you. You were right below me. You were standing there for a little bit, and I was just wondering, did this fight feel like a real fight, like a fight when you go into a heavyweight championship of the world? Did it feel like that? Because to me, it just looked a little different. Because was it hard for you to really get up? For
Yeah.
that, knowing that that's not
There was a lot
Dillian
riding on
White,
it.
Joseph Parker.
There was a
all
lot
those
riding
guys.
on this fight.
Yeah.
There was a lot riding on this fight. A lot of pressure. A lot of expectations. So I had to perform. A lot of people doubt me. I saw Mauricio Suleiman put a picture up of Jake. He don't put a picture up of me. A lot of people don't respect me, so there's a lot of pressure. And I had boxing on my back today. And that was what it was, really. I took Jake as serious as I needed to, but most importantly, I take myself as serious as I need to. I respect myself, I respect boxing, and I know what it takes to get in the ring. You have to be prepared. And one slip up could cost you in that ring. One slip up could cost you in that ring. As I said, credit to Jake, I'll stand on that. I'm not gonna sit up here. If he would have beaten me, he would bash me. You know that, right? Imagine him up here now. They would have torn me and Eddie apart. But I'm not gonna do that to Jake. I'm gonna give him the credit. But if he wants to stay at the top level at heavyweight, he needs to work harder because it's very difficult. It's a very difficult division to reign in.
Thank you for what you did for boxing tonight.
Thank you, bro.
Two more, guys.
You alright, Michelle?
Hi, hey, how are you?
Good, you?
Michelle Joy Phelps with Box Nation. Anthony, I could be wrong here, but I'd like to have you address this because there was a lot of speculation that in the last year and a half, that maybe you had fallen out of love with boxing because we weren't quite sure if we were going to see you back in the ring. I understand why you would take a fight like this because I think for you, it was probably a bit fun, right? Despite the pressure. But was it true? Did you fall out of love with boxing? And if so, how did you find it again?
I was trying to fall back in love with boxing. I realized, like, if you're a family man, I realized that I was working away from home. I was spending time with my friends, and my wife wasn't happy. So I had to kind of look at the decisions I was making, and I had to come back home to boxing, and I had to sacrifice. I had to take a look at my life, make necessary changes to put my love back to the sport. This sport is unforgiving. If you don't give it 100% attention, those belts will be torn away from you and be put on someone else's waist who gives it the love and attention that boxing needs, and I wasn't giving it enough love and attention. So it wasn't that I stepped away because I didn't want to fight, it's I stepped away because I knew if I'm going to be in boxing, I need to be 100%. And that's what it was. And it took me, I gave myself a year. I said I'm going to give myself a year. And on September 21st, 2025, the year was done. We normally do 12-week training camp. September 21st, October 21st, November 21st, December 19th. 3 months of training, and we get straight back in the ring. So for me, it was a perfect plan, and I don't want to start like losing my focus now and go and start like socializing and let's get lit. You're popping right now. You know what I'm saying? Your boy's got to try and stay focused. It's difficult. Staying focused takes effort, and I do need to though, because as I said, boxing, if you don't give it the love it needs, it will get up and leave and go and spend the night. Your belts will spend the night with someone else. So I need to focus, man. And I took the time out because I just wanted to regain the focus I need if I'm going to fight.
And joining Alexander Usyk, his team, came a bit of a shock to the boxing world. How did that come about, and how did you feel that you guys meshed?
So I spoke to Sergey, who works with Usyk, and he invited me down to their training camp. Ultimately, just to do some rounds. There was nothing more to it, but our schedules didn't align at the time. And I spoke to them. I then spoke to Tom Hall, who's a good friend of mine, and he said, "Look, let's try and find some time in your schedule. Put boxing first, and go out there. They're a very good team. You want to win, they're winners. If you want to win, surround yourself with winners." Spoke to Eddie, spoke to family, everyone said it's a good idea. I was initially going to go out there for 2 weeks. That turned into 3 months. That turned into a fight, and long may it continue. It's been a really good experience, a really good eye-opener. And I think I can definitely do more. I done well, becoming 2-time heavyweight champion of the world. But I think if I would have known what it takes, I think I would have been undisputed. To the young fighters coming up, you have to work harder. If you really want to win and you really want to get to the top of boxing like Usyk has, you have to work harder. And that's what I've learned with these guys is hard work doesn't lie. Hard work will give you the results you need. And, you know, tonight wasn't perfect, but the result was a win. And that only happened because of the work we put in over the last 2-3 months. So thank you to the team for your efforts. I appreciate it. Thank you to MVP, thank you to Matchroom, thank you to everybody involved. I hope I see you guys soon. And for those that celebrate Christmas, enjoy your Christmas. And for those that don't, enjoy the festive period. Thank you for your love, appreciation for the sport, and we'll see you soon. Thank you guys.
Yeah. You'll do it for me too?
Thank you, bro. Oh, yeah.
Guys, we can do one more and then we've got to go.
29K, appreciate y'all.
The White House